Well, good evening, folks. Thank you so very, very much for coming along tonight. Some of you have travelled a long distance and in time. I have one of my first pupils here 50 years ago, and I haven't changed. Not of you, no, that's right. And I really do think it's been such hot, but it's quite cool in here, so that helps, and really appreciate you coming along. I'd also like to thank Kirsty, who's up at the door, but I'll thank her more later on. I mean, it's wonderful that Waterstones are willing to give up an evening and willing to do this for me, so I really do appreciate that. And then Myra here's from Ayrshire Cancer Support, and you've supported that already with the raffle, and I've got a very special prize here, maybe for auctions later, and we'll see how it goes. We'll talk more about that later. So here we are. Life is a lie. I'm going to take you first of all on a short history lesson. Ian's been giving me lessons here. There we are. This was my first ever novel, and it's unbelievable. It's almost 9 years ago. And you know, the remarkable thing is it's actually still selling, not in large quantities, not that I can cushion my retirement with it, but people are still reading it, and that just gave me such a buzz when I finished it, and I realised I've written a book, and of course you get the bug, don't you, and you want to write more. So one book turned eventually into 3, the Isla trilogy, and you know, even at my age you've got to dream. I'm waiting for the BBC to phone up. Shetland in the south was a whiskey twist would be great. There have been people though who have approached me. I got an email from America from someone called Harvey, and he said, I would like to produce an audible version of your book. Fair enough, no cost to me, that would be fine. The terms looked really good. And I said, I've actually written a few other books, we'll take them all. Okay. And he said, we're going to do them with AI, and our AI is really good. And I said, but can it cope with the Scottish language? Macker Bay. Oh, he said, no bother. I said, right, let's do an experiment. Send me the first chapter and we'll see what it's like before I agree to anything. In came the first chapter. Meacher Bay in Ely, which I think is a town, fishing village in the east coast. It just got worse. The wave sounds in the background drummed out everything, and it wasn't even appropriate because it wasn't that sort of day. So I wrote back to him and I said, no thank you. So I'm not even getting an Audible book. Then a few months ago I was sitting and the phone went and I looked, I didn't recognise the number. I don't answer that, scams and things like that. So later I looked, oh, there's a transcription. Hi, this is Jimmy from the Jimmy Miller Show in Idaho, America. We'd love to interview you live on the TV. That should be interesting. And so I wish I'd answered the phone now, but I thought something maybe I didn't want to phone back. So the next thing I noticed as I was going to bed, another message. This time it said, hi Ian, we'd love to interview you live on the Jimmy Miller Show to discuss your book on health and vitality. So I don't know how they got that number wrong, but so my moments of fame are disappearing rapidly, you know. But the pleasure in writing a book is great. It's creative. Whatever the product that you think of it, I've enjoyed it, and I hope some of you will enjoy reading them as well. Now, just a wee bit more history. This was the other book that I wrote. Christine, my wife, gets really upset because I tend to write about places that we go to, and she says, you know, look, I'm fed up thinking of murders when I turn every corner in Isla, you know. She wasn't, well, She didn't get much good out of this. Galloway, Isle of Wight, and all the usual places, and there we were. In my previous existence, I wrote books in disused railways. So I was really cheery to get this view of the big Waterfleet viaduct. And it was a bit like the 39 steps. There was a mystery that led higher and higher in the country. And Finn McAdam, he was a chemistry teacher, let's get ouch a bit close, from North Ayrshire. Oh, and he saw his father murdered, but no one believed him. So he goes in search of the truth, and there's a lot of unravelling to do. So that brings you up to date. And now we turn to the new novel. Life is a Lie. One person phoned me and said, "You've not written a philosophy book, have you?" And I said, nothing could be further than the truth. If I said to you, the working title, you always think of a title as you're writing it, was Delivery Boy. Wasn't that snazzy? And all I could think of in the front cover was an Amazon van. And I thought, yeah, this isn't going to succeed. And then I thought, life is a lie, yeah, because there's quite a lot of twists at the end. And I think this guy's living a lie. So that's the title anyway. So what happens in this? The hero is Billy Baxter. He lost his parents when he was 12 in a car accident. He lived with his papa, who was recovering from trauma of working in the death railway in Burma, and his gran, who was a wee bit of a sparrow of a character and overwhelmed by it all. And with his sister Leslie, they grew up not a very good life. Uncle Dean, the father's brother, appears on the scene, and he is great, brings in light and colour, and announces he's going to get married to Catherine Ansell. Now, Walter Ansell, her dad, runs a haulage company. So I think Uncle Dean's quite keen to get involved in that, but fallouts and things don't happen. But Billy goes and works for the company. And when he's, when Walter Ansell dies, Uncle Dean moves in, and the nature of the company really changes. Remember the Eagles, Hotel California? You can check in, but you can't check out. And he can't check. He has to live a lie to survive and continue. One of the characters, Henry Smith, is asked to search for him because he's gone missing. And Henry Smith appeared in the previous book, The O, and if I do get round to writing another one, he'll be appearing in that as well. I'm quite fond of him. He's quite portly, he's slow. Yeah, I know. So, the cover, I should say, is designed by Gillian, who's sitting here. And all the covers have been, and I think they've all been brilliant. And a cover sells a book as a wine label sells a bottle of wine. So, thank you, Gillian. You don't get royalties, but you get attention. So here we are, on a boat going across to Arn. Now, Billy gave evidence in a trial against his uncle, and he had to be put in the witness protection scene. Now, one of the things in witness protection is that when people are taking on a new identity, they use the same initials as they had previously. And that, when someone says, "And who are you?" the initials come into mind and they can remember who they are. So Billy Baxter, or Blair Brown as he appears, Bobby Bell, Billy Brotherson. I mean, there's all sorts of things can happen. But he's on the ferry and he's heading to Arn, and he wants to do something before he disappears completely. He wants to climb Goat Fell. That's why the picture of Goat Fell's in the front. And family incident years ago, and he wants to see if he can resolve it. It's important for him. Say no more. And when he goes to Arn, he stays in Blackwaterfoot, and he meets a lot of people there. He has to go back up to Glasgow to sign off some documents, and that's when things start to go really wrong for him. And in a wee boat, he travels across to Campbelltown. It's Campbelltown on a sunny day. Not.
Take a while to get.
Yeah. We used to holiday in a caravan in Tainlone, and when it was really wet, it usually was wet, but really wet, we went down to Campbelltown, so it was really a thought of winter. But something's happening in the pier. And then, that's the front at Campbelltown. That's one of the oldest picture houses in Scotland. And you notice they've got a nice dual carriageway. Now, wearing my other hat as someone interested in railways, yeah, the Campbelltown and Machrihanish Light Railway, which took coal from Machrihanish to the 30-odd distilleries in Campbelltown. In the back of the public library, which is really public library, then it's a dual carriageway, is a statue to Linda McCartney. And the McCartneys did well known, obviously Paul McCartney and that. I actually found out where his farm is. It's not where anyone thinks it is. And that was probably deliberate, and the people won't talk about it because they respect him and what he did in the community. Sometimes when you're writing, you want a wee filler. Henry Smith meets our friend Jim here, and beside the statue. And there's a wee story told about how Henry had wanted to go to this Wings concert in 1978, and he queued all night and he couldn't get tickets. Well, that was me. The only time I queued up for tickets in my life, and I didn't get in, and one of my regrets in life. I did see Paul McCartney just before I retired, but there wasn't Wings at that point. So it becomes quite difficult to tell too much more about the story. But not for the first time, because in Bachmore, I visited the Republic of Ireland as part of the story. So the books have been abroad. But I'm usually noted for all my detailed backgrounds. And I like that. I like people to see, right, there is a statue there is things there. And two of the chapters take place in Townsville, Australia. And I spent ages looking at Google Maps and getting as accurate as possible. Now, there's a precedent here. I couldn't find a picture of Townsville, and someone's picked up on me already. The Thai government used a better picture than this, but they used a picture of this to advertise the beaches in Thailand. And to someone pointed out, that's Harris. And we're looking at the West Beach in Berneray, one of the top 20 beaches in the world. And I remember walking through the sand dunes and coming out and going, wow. And my wife was a good bit behind. She said, is this worth it? And I said, yes, it is. So I've moved, quite happy with these two chapters. There's a wee bit of a bite at the end of them, which I'd leave you to read and find out what I mean. And there's a character called the Magician who specialises in assassinations and murders, and he appears quite frequently through the book because everybody's out to kill Billy. Nobody wants him because of what he did. He wrecked so many the crime gangs in the country. And the people who are looking after in the witness protection team, are they on his side or against him? Time will tell as you read through. Now, we want to take a second to read this. Presumably I was interested in writing from an early stage. And I've wrote this letter. I'm a bit embarrassed by it now. The Beatles are finished. They come up with the weirder and weirder music. Their latest offering is rubbish. No shades of grey here. Why don't they accept the fact that we're once pop heroes, but are now just an ordinary group? Alasdair Wham. They got my address wrong. It was Milner Road, not Wilmer Road. I got lots of mail. I say some of it wasn't that pleasant. How dare you say that about Paul and George and Ringo and it was really anyway. Quite a number of them ended with, "I would like to be a pen pal," but I didn't take them up in that. This appeared on my Facebook page, a few months ago, and this is where it gets weird. It could be a plot for a new novel. The guy who sent me this said, "Are you Alasdair Wham?" Well, yes, I am, yeah. "Did you write this letter?" "What letter?" "Oh, yes, I did." And he's now writing a book or a podcast on what people thought of the Beatles records. And my letter appears boldly in it, it seems. I often wonder what Paul and Ringo and John thought of it all, and George. Probably ended with the word "off," say anything about that. And I feel it was Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields Forever. Strawberry Fields, still not great. Penny Lane's now one of my favourite tracks, and that's probably a sign of maturity or something. So there's a brief outline of the book and a few wee anecdotes along beside it. There is an elephant in the room, right, squashing everything. And that's why Ayrshire Cancer Support are here tonight. I'm on a journey, as many others are, and Ayrshire Cancer Support are wonderful people. You go on courses with other people and they talk to you, and it's great. The characters I talked to, I could have used them in a lot of different books. And one of my friends at the moment is doing a daily journey up to the Beatson, and that's due to Ayrshire Cancer Support and the volunteer drivers, which is amazing, because they don't just go up for 10 o'clock and then come back down. They go up with a group and they wait all day, and then they come down when the last one's finished, and that can be a long time. So that's why I wanted them along tonight. Now, I will donate £1 from every book sold to them, and we now come to the drawing of the raffle. And there are some prizes, and one special prize. So, Callum, would you like to come forward and draw the raffle? Come on. Callum's my grandson, a Greenwood Academy pupil, for those in the back row. And my ticket's the one that's folded. Hey. Thank you. Now, there's one more item, and this is a very rare item. This could be worth probably nothing in years to come, to be honest. It's the first ever copy of the book. It's a proof copy, which arrives, and you have to look through it and read it, and fingers crossed it's okay, and it was. So, I wondered if anyone would like, we could do a wee bit bidding to see who would like to bid to get this book. It is £10.99, so I appreciate you went slightly above that. But if there's someone who's interested in it, could we say £20? I'll sign it, right? £20, 25, 30, 30. Any other offers? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Christine, thank you so much. There we are.
As long as you don't sign it.
So, that concludes most of the evening. I think there's one more slide. If you want to contact me or follow me on Facebook, the name's unusual, so you can usually find me okay. And on my author page, Facebook page, I do something called Wham's Musings, which is just my thought on various things, like my favourite pop tune, Waterloo Sunset, and various things like that. There's no rhyme or reason to them. It just sometimes happens. There's a wee story here, I'll tell it. And more information about the books. So, I really appreciate you all coming along tonight. It's great to see you on an evening, at least a wee bit cooler in here. I'm happy to sign any books for you if you want to purchase any. And I've also, there's one person who's really made all this possible for me. And it's Kirsty.
Oh, Alistair.
Thank you.
So much. Thank you.
No. It's, yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Ringing your books through the till. And thank you everybody for not fainting tonight as well. That was my big fear.
Yeah. So thank you so much. I'll take my seat and sign things if you wish to. And thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you.